Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Convention with the Weekly Comic Book. We've covered this week's Krakoan X-Men books. Now it's time to move on to this week's non-Krakoan X-Men books, as well as Star Wars books. We'll kick things off with this year's X-Men Annual, which is part of the Contest of Chaos annual crossover. So, Cyclops and Captain Marvel find themselves on an Icelandic fishing village, which is seemingly abandoned. The issue largely focuses on the differences between the two of them. How, as well as the similarities, like how they both need control. But among the differences are the fact that Scott is much more of a planning, make plans, follow through as best as possible, and try and come up with contingencies for what could go wrong ahead of time, and react accordingly. Whereas Carol Danvers is really more impulsive. However, they both feel something gnawing away at their control, and it is definitely making them more antagonistic towards one another. Also, as this continues, both Carol and Scott start to wonder, if the other is actually who they claim to be, leading to a fight. Though, what really gets the fight started is a piece of wood somehow being thrown at Carol and hitting her on the back of the head. And Carol points out the big problem that Scott's got with dealing with Carol. He blasts her with his optic beams, and, well, she's just going to get stronger. But they notice a glowing fish in the water, and so they both decide to go for it. And yes, Scott does take a few shots at her with his optic blast, which does make her more powerful. But eventually Scott just decides that, yeah, okay, his optic blast will make her more powerful. But she's got to do something with that power. And so Scott removes his visor, lets loose, which does power her up increasingly. He points out that, yeah, she's got to do something with that power. She's got to release it. Scott gets the fish. Carol blows up the town. And that's where that story ends. But we learn more of what Agatha's doing, as Clea has learned more, explains it to Spider-Man and Jessica Jones. She puts it, Agatha is creating a new Darkhold, using heroes to generate and contain chaos magic, because her self-righteousness has convinced her that this is the right way, the only way, to protect the world from pure chaos breaking free. But Agatha hasn't accounted for how much worse it will be if she fails, or when she fails, which, according to Clea, is frankly the likeliest outcome. But she, apparently, Clea placed a tracer on Agatha's astral projection. Not incredibly accurate when you don't have a physical body to work with, but based on locations where the tracker's been pinging, she's in the Bermuda Triangle. And so, Spidey calls the Avengers. The whole thing will be continued and concluded, I believe, in Avengers Annual #1. The big Avengers versus question mark. It's going to be Agatha's champions. Which we get a couple of rematches between Iron Man and Storm and Captain Marvel and Cyclops. Overall, I mean, not bad. It's, you know, it's fine. It's fine. Moving on though to our next book, we've got Deadpool, Batter Blood #4. Where we left off, Deadpool was stuck in Kill World, battling Venompool for Arcada's amusement. But she brought in a partner to help Venom. However, someone popped in to help Deadpool, Wolverine. So we begin at Grey Malkin 2, Cable's mobile base of operations. Cable is trying to find Deadpool. The amount of time he's given Deadpool to track down Thumper on his own has lapsed, so. But he was last seen in Madripoor, so Deadpool says that's where it's going to go. But Professor's been hacked. By Dr. Van Struten, who Cable, Wolverine, and Deadpool saved from Thumper earlier in the series, bringing forth the supervillain hit squad known as the Core to Grey Malkin. He managed to eventually take down Cable, at least injuring him. They're apparently auditioning to work alongside Thumper, hoping that Thumper will keep them around after taking down Cable. Apparently, Thumper has a vision, and Van Struten says that Thumper will need the help of many to achieve said vision. Back in Killville, Wolverine and Deadpool are dealing with Venom and Venompool. But Wolverine gets a better whiff of Venom, realizing that something's not right. Arcada is not pleased with this revelation that Wolverine managed to figure out their ruse with Venom. Though Killville itself states that the test appears to be flawed. Arcada blaming it all on Killville because he wanted to push things. But upon realizing something's off with Venom, Deadpool cuts off Venom's head, revealing Venom to be a robot. In Manhattan, Spider-Man is swinging along because the spider sense is going off. Nothing's going on though. Not a vulture, a car thief, or a cat wolf in sight. But his spider sense goes off near an arcade, goes to investigate. Wolverine and Deadpool manage to convince Venompool to join forces with them, and find, as the facility is self-destruct. The countdown stops, courtesy of Spider-Man, who's fighting Killville itself, who says that in his time with Arcada, it has learned what it means to be a criminal. He looks forward to discovering what it means to be a hero, and leaves. Wolverine says that Deadpool's got some weird bad guys, though Spider-Man adds that he's seen weirder, which is probably true. It's confirmed that Arcana is not working for Thumper. But Wolverine explains that a group called the Core has Cable. And so they gotta go for a rescue mission. Venompool, Spider-Man, Deadpool, and Wolverine. And that is where the issue ends. Amusing. It was nice seeing the Deadpool Core last issue. I wish they would have popped up in this one as well, but we're not that lucky apparently. Moving on to our next book. This is a book I've been waiting for some time. Predator vs. Wolverine, #1. So I've been waiting for this since before the since Disney bought Fox. It's something growing up in the '90s, I was seeing the Batman vs. Predator comics, and I always thought, man, it would be, wouldn't it be cool if Dark Horse worked with Marvel and did a Predator vs. Wolverine book. They never did, but we still managed to get one, thanks to Disney buying Fox. So, opens the present in Canada in the present day. Wolverine is badly injured. Youch is tracking him and wants to decloak so that Wolverine can see his opponent before Youch kills him. Flashback to Alaska Territory, circa 1900. James Howlett, man who would later become known best as Logan or Wolverine, depending on who you are, lives in the wild. He lives in a trap. He catch the occasional beavers for meat and furs, largely to keep himself warm. Lives in a cave with a bear where he keeps his own treasures. Around this time, Youch arrives, finding another Youch frozen in the ice. He decided to do some hunting of his own. Logan goes to a local trading post. Storm coming in. Prospect, I'm claiming to be a prospector who wants to hire Logan. Apparently, his son's been kidnapped. Logan's got a soft spot for kids in danger. Always will. But a couple locals aren't realize that James is holding out on. He's definitely got he's definitely got more hidden somewhere, and they want to know where. James makes short work of them, and takes the prospector up on the work. Meanwhile, the Youch is doing some hunting, killing various animals in the snow. Catches a fire and seemingly goes off in that direction. As James and his current employer make their way to the people who have his employer's son held prisoner, they come upon an indigenous tribe who have been slaughtered, hanging from the trees and skinned. Logan finds James and his employer find where the various ne'er-do-wells have absconded with James' employer's son. Makes short work of them, but the prospector, well, turns out he just hired these guys to rob a train, and well, he wanted to split the money with them. $20,000 in cash and bonds. As he makes to leave, however, the man's head is disintegrated by a Youch plasma caster. So James Howlett fights the Yautja Hunter, draws first, draw blood. Of course, he gets run through by Hunter's combi stick. James runs out with the spear sticking through him, while the Yautja uses medkit. Both going through intense pain as the Yautja heals himself with the medkit, and James pulls the spear out. My best guess would be that the intense amount of damage that Yautja weapons can do to James is what kind of levels the playing field a bit. But James gets him back to the cave he hides out in, and the bear that lives within it pulls the Yautja in. James takes the disc weapon and leaves, figuring that's that. But the Yautja steps out with the bear's head after James is gone. And in South America, many years later, while James, now going by Logan, was a part of Team X. Well, Team X got sent into South America, basically prevent an insurgency. Team consisting of Logan, Creed, Maverick, Cruel, and Jackson. Arrive and everything's quiet. Logan does further reconnaissance and finds a skinned body hanging upside down, realizing that things aren't going to go well. Cruel is caught in a Yautja net. It turns out that this Yautja, well, he brought friends, and that is where the issue ends. Strong start. Yeah, the solicits on this really interests me, because the thought that I had of a Wolverine versus Predator story was something more along the lines of just, Wolverine fights a Predator in the modern day. Maybe he's pointed to the direction by Nick Fury, whatever. But this miniseries is apparently going to take place over the years, which kind of gives me a similar vibe to the Marvel Comics Presents miniseries from a few years ago, and the Wolverine story within, where each issue was a different decade with Wolverine and his basically having to deal with a demon, and also having things occur in real time, as it were. Moving on, though, to our next book, we've got Star Wars Bounty Hunters number 38. Where we left off, Tonga and her crew had gone to Kligson's moon to Haven, an outpost in orbit around Kligson's moon, in the hopes that they could repair, they could prevent the full deterioration of Valance's memories. Basically, the only thing that kept him remotely human. However, Kligson, an old ally of Jango Fett's, was there, said he'd take care of Valance, and, well, he erased Valance's memories himself, having his own plans for Kligson. Meanwhile, a group of Scourge-possessed droids were closing in on Zuckuss and 4LOM, who were exploring the outpost. So the issue begins during the Clone Wars. General Grievous arrives at Haven to offer the protection of the Confederacy of Independent Systems to Haven, in exchange for their droids joining the droid army. Kligson is berated constantly by the droid by Telemac. But Telemac tells Grievous they have no interest in joining and being counted among the number of droids the Confederacy of Animate Systems has enslaved, leads to a fight between the forces that Grievous brought with him, as well as Grievous himself, and the droids of Haven. In the present, it appears Cligson is controlling Telemech by remote, basically trying to keep the bounty hunters calm and expressing his displeasure in the fact that Zuckuss and 4LOM have gone off on their own, by reassuring them that Valance will be returned to them shortly. As Zuckuss and 4LOM continue making their way through Haven, they note they haven't seen any droids until an Imperial Mouse droid shows up. Zuckuss gets a momentary flash that something's up, and the mouse droid pops open, and a small Scourge drone attempts to take over 4LOM, but Zuckuss defeats it. The rest of the droids give chase, trying to recruit trying to convince 4LOM to join them. But they make it to a dead end in the hallway. The escape pods, which only have a capacity of 1. Zuckuss decides that the best course of action is to get 4LOM into an escape pod, because that's who the droids want, not him. And so they do so. But meanwhile, Telemech has just kind of been standing there, slumped over. It's clearly deactivated. Scourge knocks him over, and some arguing among the hunters. Tonga explains what's going on with explains everything to one of her crew members, whose name I cannot remember. But the issue cuts back and forth between the present and the Clone Wars. They're waiting for the arrival of Ajax Sigma, or the return of Ajax Sigma, I should say. Grievous is defeated, as the droids that we brought with him were promptly defeated as well. But Grievous leaves, explaining he'll come after they win the Clone Wars. He'll return to Haven and continue their conversation. Telemech further berates and even strikes Cligson, but Cligson returns with balance. But one of the hunters feels something's off with balance. The Claudite with them takes the form of Yura, Valance's long unrequited love, and has her head destroyed by Valance. With being pointed out to Tonga that whoever is standing in front of them isn't her friend anymore. And that is where the issue ends. It saddens me to see Valance basically seeing this happen to Valance. He's a character I like. And I do kind of feel like it's something of a missed opportunity to not include Valance in the various live action shows. Even if he just showed up briefly in an episode of Mandalorian, you know. But I would guess we're likely to be seeing the end of Valance's overall arc. So yeah. Moving on though to our last episode, we have Star Wars Dark Droids, D Squad, number 1. So back during the Clone Wars, there was a squad of mostly astromechs that were under the command of a high-ranking but very diminutive member of the New Republic Army, and they infiltrated a separatist ship and sabotaged it. But then they got lost on it. They got marooned on a fairly desolate planet. But they managed to the remaining members managed to pull together and turn things around and get off the planet, and also sabotage separatist plans. Among those was R2-D2. In Dark Droids number 2, R2-D2 was duped by a Scourge-possessed C-3PO and ejected from Home 1. So R2 is adrift in space, doing what he can to gain momentum, using all the various gadgets within him. But apparently his retractable rockets have been removed. But he's able to at least he ends up in an asteroid field. Is picked up by a ship. A ship commanded by his former Clone Wars compatriot and member of D Squad, WAC-47, the DUM series pit droid, a corporal in the Grand Army of the Republic. R2 basically takes control of the ship. They get to the planet Iego. R2 explains what's going on to WAC-47 and finds a potential ally. The greatest war criminal in Alliance history. C-110P, aka Chopper. Chopper and R2 don't like each other much, and, well, WAC-47 tries to mediate things and convince Chopper to help, but he's not. R2 steals commandeers a small transport ship, gets to the Galileo system. There's apparently a report of an astromech causing trouble there. Seems to match or not an astromech, but a protocol droid causing trouble there. It appears to match the description of C-3PO, but it's not. It's 000, aka 000. Protocol droid specializing in etiquette, customs, translation, and torture. And that is where this story ends. We then get into the origin of Ajax, showing his battle against the Jedi on Klingson's moon, his defeat at the hands of the Jedi, his memory core being buried on a planet by Han Solo, being found by an ASP unit, returned to a body, and though the ASP unit wants to, they need to rebel against the organics, but Ajax's like, yeah, no one knows we're even here. We're fine. We're free. But he returns to Klingson's moon, finding his old banner and some settlers. And the settlers have seen old recordings of him and attack him. He attacked them back, but he would later encounter Luke Skywalker, tell his story to Luke. The two of them would fight, and but a new faceplate was retrieved from Klingson's moon. And Ajax takes on his. It's basically Ajax taking on his role as the leader of the. There's the Church of the Second Revelation. That's what they call it. Is what it's called, I believe. Yeah. That is where the issue ends. In regards to the miniseries, I'm hoping that this is not the series' only appearance of Chopper. Kind of developed a soft spot for the little bastard, but yeah. Anyways, that's going to do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Big shout out to Patreon patron Xander Lee. Thank you so much for your support. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Mastodon, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off saying, live long and rock hard.